your weekly corner Späti. It is me, Kieran. I am joined by Nick.
Yo, I'm first again. This has been a long time.
I am so offended right now.
And Uma for her last episode, because I didn't say her name first.
Hello. Hi.
Yes, and we're joined by Nadim from 996 Zu Eins to talk about the most normal people in Germany. Surveys are in. 80% of Germans are wrong, actually, about Israel-Palestine, and everyone else is very normal. Don't worry about it. Nadim, how are you getting on?
Hi, thanks for having me. Honored to be back with you guys.
Hell yeah. So it has been a while, but I did notice I'm off Twitter a lot these days, but whenever I logged in, my algorithm decided to show me the most one of the weirdest tweets in German in reply to a very innocuous post from your show account of just like, hey, here's the new episode or something like that. And I'm just wondering if you could tell us what's been happening over there.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't know how this live streamer, Twitch streamer scene in the US is constituted. Maybe it's similar there, but here in Germany, it's particularly toxic. So we always try to, with 996 zu Eins, we try to like kind of, maybe at maximum touch them so that we can give them, a couple of arguments and let them know what we think, but then not involve. Particularly, we were really wary to do reaction videos or stuff like that, which is what they live off, right? Sometimes we did that. We had some shitstorms, some beefs then, but we tried to kind of avoid it. Recently, like I think maybe like a month or two ago, there was like one of the biggest and most well-known youth streamers. I would call her. Her name is Shoyoka Pia Scholz in German. She's quite famous because she won like a big prize in 2023, apparently from this Twitch gamer sphere. I have no idea about this shit, man. So don't ask me. And also,
it just sounds like you're making stuff up to me. So keep going.
No, it's true. It's true.
Oh, I know.
She has like millions of followers, and it used to be, game streaming, and then also getting political, pretty like woke liberal stuff that she would be talking about. Left topics, discrimination and sexism and racism, stuff like that. She never talked much about Palestine, Israel. Only like 2-3 months ago, or maybe 2 months ago, something like this, she started to actually disclose her position on this, because before that she was kind of silent. So people were asking her, what do you think about it? There's genocide going on. Do you have anything to say? And then she came out with a position that was surprising to many, because she was, pretty non-German standard in the sense of, calling it a genocide, talking about ongoing ethnic cleansing since 70, 80 years, talking about Germany supporting all this shit. I don't know, posting Macklemore videos, shitting on this Eurovision singer from Israel and stuff like that. So she was pretty vocal. And what then followed was like a huge backlash, of course, mostly from her own people, but not all of them jumped ship. But yeah, you gotta know also something else, because like since 1 or 2 years, there is like a bubble around her of streamers. They're like maybe there are even like 20 people, streamers that they themselves have channels that are in the 20 and 100,000s of followers. And their whole business model is we react and shit on Shoyoka. So they make money by shitting on her. So of course, then this came out, and then that's a big scandal. And then they took like 20 other accusations of some legal cases that she was involved in or something. But we then thought, okay, let's give her a chance to we would normally never really have her on. It's not so interesting to get into the scene, but we thought, okay, let's have her on. And have a talk about this and really interview her on what she thinks about the stuff. We posted on Sunday the announcement for the episode on Tuesday. And yeah, what you then saw. Everybody can still see that on X if you want. You can just go under this announcement post and you see like hundreds and hundreds, maybe it's even in the thousands now, of a crazy internet mob that basically, is out for lynching. That's what this is in the digital sphere, basically. On Instagram too, by the way.
Right.
Yeah. So so much for a summary on what happened.
That's fair. And like, I'm kind of curious of the character of this. Is it because the ones I was seeing were particularly like the Israel focus of just like people angry and being pro-Israeli, basically.
Right.
But is there also just like, before we get into that deeper kind of stuff, is there also just like other reasons to hate this streamer that like they've decided upon?
That was the most striking. So we had shitstorms before because just like you, we cover Palestine, we cover Israel, and we also don't really hold back with criticism. So we had shitstorms before of the German kind, let's say, and you kind of get the feel of the tone and of the how militant they are, and you know the arguments, and also by someone recounting the arguments that they bring, these whole anti-Deutsch folk. You kind of know, okay, how deep are they inside the lore? How, are they just parroting ideas that they've heard, or do they really did they really read some of the shit of these crazy guys of, I don't know, Ingo Elbe or what's this other guy's name? Stefan Grigat, for example. What was really striking with this crowd is that they very obviously, strikingly obviously, did not have a single clue what they're talking about. So you could really feel that, that it's true what you're saying. The main topic was Israel. Obviously, I mean, the main topic of our episode was Gaza, right? So they reacted to that. And that also has been the latest I don't know, shtick that they're trying to pull with her, basically defaming her and attacking her for her position on Gaza. So that's why they're going with this. But when you started to poke, and we decided beforehand that we're not going to just do the healthy thing of ignoring all these messages. We're actually going to go full on confrontation with every single comment that we can get.
I've made because when you mentioned that it's on Instagram, I did see the original post and thought nothing of it because I don't know this scene very well. And then when I look now, there's over 1,000 comments on an Instagram post, which is absurd.
It's an announcement.
It's just it is. It's not a video. It's nothing. It's just it is literally just your ad for it. The comments make no sense. Like they are. It is such drivel, and I'm trying to it's one just bullying her of just like, oh, look at this dumb woman. How could you have her on this and that and that? Half of and then you're again, like you said, like responding to these things of just like some of them are literally you just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right. No. I mean, at some point, the things that you would get hit with is so outrageously stupid.
Oh yeah. I have gotten dumber now in the last 2 minutes, which is
there is no other adequate reaction other than insult. And I mean this seriously. I don't mean it like as oh, I'm so angry at them, I need to insult them. No, it's really like, guys, like if you think that you can follow this shithead insult streamer there that wants to shit on Shoyoka, and by listening to 5-minute segment of him reading something out from Wikipedia or some other stupid page,
classic streamer
that you can actually start to involve in the discussion on Gaza and Palestine, then I'm sorry, they're like the only adequate response to maybe even help you to get out of this fucking lunacy pot that you got yourself in is insulting your intelligence. Like, it's ridiculous, right? So that's why also we didn't normally we try to hold back and stay rather neutral and sachlich, we say in German. But this time we just said no. We're gonna have some fun. Everything below, anything legal. Of course, we are not supposed to really insult on a legal, getting us into legal trouble. But yeah, we went more out than normal. Yeah, but what I then realized is they have no clue. They have absolutely no idea. And even the ones that are, that were a little bit more stubborn and said, okay, I'm gonna talk back and I'm gonna have a conversation. You realize, like, as they are typing, they are probably asking ChatGPT something, and they just don't know. And that was striking, because normally people that are so pro-Zionist in Germany, let's say not like just the moral liberal kind that go like, oh, how can you not condemn Hamas and stuff like this, but people that really like come, with facts, or some, what they think as facts. The Grand Mufti of Jerusalem and stuff like this. They have some facts down. They know some shit. And then you gotta, it's most of the time stupid shit, and it's easy to argue against it, but at least you have to engage with something. And there you didn't. And that's why I think this time really it's different. This one was different than just some Zionists getting crazy. I actually said that in our episode yesterday. We made a German episode. Maybe some of your folks know German. You can watch this episode yesterday that came last night. We talked about like what we think is the psychology of these guys, not the streamers themselves, but the fans of them. And I really honestly think they're not even Zionists. They're not. They don't even know what that means. So they are, and then we have to now slowly talk about this kind of mob mentality that develops there, and the whole Zionist thing is then just one of the tools that they use.
I think in like the US it's comparable to the sense of, and I hate that I like know shit about this because I unfortunately like was bored and I like went down a hole of like, who are these people I hear about on Twitter? I'm like, I'm gonna fucking watch a million YouTube videos about all these dramas. And it's similar to the sense of like someone like a figure like Destiny is probably, but like he has that. I do like people follow him and just take his word as everything. And Destiny is a moron. Destiny is he is a debate nerd who sucks at debating.
Moron,
absurdly dumb, a massive Zionist who does this whole thing of like, oh, well, actually both sides, but at the end of the day I support Israel. All of his supporters just cyberbully and harass mostly underage women. Destiny also, PDF file related stuff related to him. That is not liable. That is true. And it's just these people who are ride or dies for people who are, first off, like snot-nosed nerds, which I don't get. Like Destiny especially too has like a cult following of people who will like literally die for him. And it's this like next level of like, people say that then that like, oh, there's like a what's the relationship that people have to internet people? Parasocial relationship to like podcasters or whatever. Like streamers are
no Nick.
What?
No. Parasocial relationships with podcasters is good.
Yeah. No.
Twitch streamers draw the line.
And by the way, we have a
Only
Patreon.
a man.
Yeah.
Only a man could say that it's okay.
I'm with Uma on this one. I agree with Uma. But yeah, like it is like going and like seeing then that level of just like it is just like either one or the other, like cult of personality worship of I love this person, I will die for them, or the opposite, which you like see just happen to like someone like Hassan, where people just like flood his, live stream all the time and just like insult him or give like like the basic like nonsensical like half truth fact or whatever, and then that's it. Like
I
I
think that's just honestly like a Twitch.
Yeah,
thing,
it is.
Because it goes beyond borders, beyond countries. It's true, like international solidarity. That in every country there's one of these like brainless men, Twitch streamers who have like a bunch, like a mob behind them, basically. Because it's the same in Spain. Really, there's so many horrible Twitch streamers that are super famous, super rich. They all moved to Andorra so they don't have to pay so many taxes. And and it's exactly the same as you guys are saying. They just have this like brainless mob behind them that they don't even have any facts, or they don't even, as you were saying, know about the topic themselves, or have anything, or even are Zionists or whatever it is in that
Because
conversation.
I think a big part of this is also coming from like this German ecosystem perspective of like, maybe it's different in the States, but like the kind of like pro-Israeli Zionists, anti-Palestinian kind of voices in Germany typically try to portray themselves as quite intellectual. Like, first comes to mind is like Nicholas Potter. Like, Nicholas Potter is someone who reads a lot and likes to show off that he reads a lot. That's what we're kind of used to.
Yeah, he should
in
stop
Germany.
that. He should read less.
He should write less. He should stop writing
he should just shut up.
But then that's the kind of thing of like, you're saying like, what you were saying, Nadim, of like, these people didn't really seem to know stuff. And it does kind of feel like maybe that was this kind of like German experience of the people who were so like, who got so angry at like pro-Palestinian videos, podcasts, posts, or whatever, were at least people who were like, yeah, I've written for Tats. I'm credentialed in some capacity. I know, like, if I don't know the facts, I at least know where to look for the facts that fit my narrative, right?
Or at least, I mean, even if you don't know facts, at least make it seem like you know something. You know, even that is a skill that some people have. You know?
It's just me with my copy of Jungle World tucked underneath my arm. And
I mean, the interesting thing there is when you hit back a little bit and you went on some talking points. Like, for example, there's this talking point. Okay, so if you are against the singer at Eurovision Song Contest, because you're saying she is I don't know, perpetrating or supporting genocide, then you're obviously anti-Semitic because you are, as the IHRA definition says, you are taking a Jew and you're making him responsible for actions that Israel carried out. Now the thing, and then you hit back and you say, well, that's not even like, and you know, the IHRA is shit, you know. So let's just say that out front. But that is not even what IHRA says.
Yeah.
Right. So IHRA says you are attacking somebody as you know, being guilty of Israel's crimes because he or she is a Jew. Now, this woman, she, you know, drapes herself in the Israeli flag. The fucking song itself is like a testament to Israeli war propaganda. Yeah. She tweets on, you know, on the 7th of October and all her experiences there. So it's just ridiculous. It's absurd to think that an opposition that also says, I am claiming that she's co-responsible because she's a representative of the state. That's how she, you know, puts herself in scene. That's what she says. She supports the shit. So that's why I'm against it. That this should be anti-Semitic. And then, you know, you give a couple of tweets like that. And these people, like, then normally they would fight, like anti-Deutsche. They would now fight back. They would, and then would say, yeah, this is because you're anti-Semitic and you don't know. It's all comes from the value form, blah, blah, blah. You know, they start fighting back. But these guys, no, they will accept it. But this will not lessen their animosity at all. Like, they will just keep fighting and keep insulting her and, you know, finding something else. And then you realize, okay, it's not actually about Israel. It doesn't matter to them. They don't give a fuck about Jews or Palestine or anything. They don't care. Can I say the F word here?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. This is
it's encouraged.
This is a family-friendly podcast.
Rated PG.
Yeah.
We're talking about genocide. It's for the whole family.
Yeah. So and then you ask, okay, what do they do? What are they doing? And we had like some discussion yesterday, and we basically think that this is also fits to what Uma said. Yeah, it's a symptom of this society that we are in, where everybody kind of is, you know, they're running around the society as moralists, that there is a law, but they imagine themselves that it's not the law that says what, what's right and wrong in the society, but there's something higher than that, which is like moral right or wrong. And everybody has their own morals. Of course, they diverge a little bit. Like we had this example yesterday. We said, like, for example, you are allowed in Germany or in Berlin, I think you're allowed to play a little louder music until it's like 10, right? And then people will, your neighbors will get fucking upset if you play music at 8. And they will say, yeah, this is not adequate. This is immoral, basically. And that's how they go through the world. They try to make sense out of all these things that is not in their power at all, which is the law. That's just abstracted on them, by saying, yeah, it's an instance of something higher, which is the morals. And if you go around the world like this, then you become this kind of moral guard. We compare them to the moral guards in Iran, right? Where you walk around and you say, okay, look, this guy, he's somehow immoral. He's doing something wrong and he lied. So all these people are moralists. Now come these streamers, and their whole business, the streamers themselves, they don't even have to be moralists, by the way. They can be, sometimes they are, but they don't have to be. They just have to act it. And their whole business is to, jump on these topics and then say, look, this person is so immoral, is so dirty, is such an anti-Semite. And then all these guys, and mostly guys, by the way, they can, run after these streamers and feel like they are in a community where they are also, maybe they are lonely in their normal lives, which is also typical in our society, but they don't feel lonely anymore because everybody speaks the same stuff. And suddenly they feel powerful. And then there is the next step where they say, and there we actually speak about, it's like a fascist transition that they make, where they say, okay, the court has now ruled that Shoyoka, this girl, this one statement was not Volksverhetzung, basically that it wasn't anti-Semitic, it wasn't against Jews. It has ruled that, so she's off the hook. That means, what does it mean for them? That means the law is not seeing, obviously, that she's a bad person, so we have to take the law in our own hands. And what happens then is that they come in mobs. They really came to our chat, and there was even some idiot that said, oh, wow, our whole Discord server is here, and there were like 200 people, and they were just, trying to blow up the conversation I had with her. And there you feel like, yeah, now they are really making like the step. Why are we calling this fascist? Because they are now really making the step where they even they many times point at her failing or doing something that is illegal. Like, for example, saying, "Oh, she relativized the Holocaust. That's illegal in Germany. Yeah, if you do this, it's illegal." But then, if the court says, "Yeah, she didn't really do that. I'm sorry, she did not," right? So she's off the hook. Then they're like, "Okay." The morals that are above the law have not been served adequately by the law, so now we are all Batman, basically, and we have to take the law in our own hands. We are now judge and executioner at the same time, right? And that's how they comport themselves. That's how they come, and they are basically moral guards.
Yeah,
and try to shit on everybody. And the interesting thing was last sentence. Sorry, I'm talking too much. The interesting thing was, every time, like one of our main lines, you can see this in the comments in Twitch, on YouTube, and on Instagram. Sorry, Twitch, not Twitch, X. Instagram and on YouTube. You can see when the first answer that we give them, once they normally come with their moral outrage about something that, she did, we would say, okay, on the one hand, we would ask, give us some proof of her being anti-Semitic. Tell us where, what happened, show us the incident, and we will talk about it. So show us proof. And the second thing would also be if they just say that, for example, now in the comments 3 days later, the comments are mainly when they still arrive, they still do arrive. The comments say, it's outrageous that you invited this person. She has no expertise or something like this. And then I would ask, okay, tell us what was wrong. That she's, what did she say wrong? And I'm not kidding you, man. 2,000, maybe 3,000 comments later, there is not one person that was able to point onto anything that is in any way coherent about her being anti-Semitic or whatever, or just, showing an error in what she said. And it's not like, I'm not even saying that I agree with everything she said in our episode. There are things that I would also, criticize her about or discuss with her. I didn't do in this episode because there I was just, asking the questions, but it's not like me saying, yeah, she's right about everything, but they're not able to show where she's not right. I would be. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like the vigilantism thing is always a very interesting one, because that is always one. It's like the reason why, of course, that like Batman is obviously the most like fascist propaganda that we've had of like the last like whatever 20, 30 years. Is that
Yeah, Punisher maybe more even, right?
I was gonna
Yeah.
say the Punisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as big as Batman, but yes.
Yeah. No,
No,
of course.
but you see
like,
all the fucking
Batman is Punisher for kids, basically. It's not so violent.
Yeah.
So.
The skull is
Exactly.
scary.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that there's this like the any sort of sense of that type of behavior is always going to be like fascistic, because I mean it's the sense of like, oh well, you know, people can point out to the sense, I know that then that there's always this argument of like, oh well, you know, the left can behave this way too, and it's like it's always kind of like in like a different way though. It's never in the sense of this like, I don't know, I would argue in the sense of like that there's the lack of like the moralist thing more so than like it's like direct action stuff that then is normally not done by the state, you know, or like when people are like, oh, you know, if you punch a Nazi, that's just as bad. It's like not the same, you know. There's not this like level of a similar thing.
It feels different. Yeah.
It feels different, first off, and second, it's just this sense of like, well, there's not like the fascist intent of that. Then it's like the law isn't doing this thing right, therefore I need to do it. Is like that big like punching a Nazi is illegal, you know. There's not this thing of like, oh, you know, like I'm enforcing the law better than the law is. This person's like, you know, opinion is destructive. I'm gonna take it, you know, like, or you know, punching a Nazi, I guess is one, you know, but like actual like, you know, Antifa kind of argumentations and stuff like that of, you know, why there needs to be, you know, like direct action done against, or, you know, why they collect information against, like, you know, here's like, you know, here's this group of like neo-Nazis, this and that, da 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 da. I think just falls into a different realm of like why it's done. It's not necessarily in the sense that then it's like, oh, I'm doing the state's job. It's, yeah, I don't know. Like it is. Oh, go on. Yeah.
It's quite interesting because there was actually a discussion on this, because yesterday my colleague Marek, he's our lawyer too. He was in front of the camera with me, and he also said, like, he actually made the statement that he thinks many of the dynamics, at least of, let's say, militant Antifa.
Mm-hmm.
So in English you would say Antifa, right?
Antifa, yeah,
and Antifa, yeah, exactly. Many of them are actually following similar logic. So that's his. I mean, he has made also before everybody now snaps at me and goes crazy. How could you? You know, we have quite a few very deep critiques of Antifa in Germany and their action. We like Marek himself. He looked into this Lina E case, and he also talked about this Budapest thing that is running, where Maya is being imprisoned by Budapest police for, you know, militant action there. And going into detail about what drives you to, you know, it's one thing as an Antifa organization to organize in a suburb of Dresden, let's say, to organize some kind of protective group that can make sure that, you know, your left circles can meet peacefully on Tuesday evening in order to discuss politics or something like this. It's something else than going out there, traveling throughout the country to, I don't know, break someone's shins or something like this, right?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I think that there is like I think a drastic difference in the sense of that then people, you know, keeping like being aware in the sense of like, you know, like for example, there was a lot of research, the one that then comes to my mind of that then pointing to Björn Höcke writing under a pseudonym as a neo-Nazi for you know, the NPD's, like, you know, whatever little newspaper thing that they had in his local area. That's different in the sense of, you know, going and, you know, parading around and just trying to find people to go and beat up. Like that is I think there is a lot of proactive, you know, stuff, whether it be in the digital or the physical realm, that Antifa can do to, like, one, keep their community safer, raise awareness in the sense of like, hey, here's who the people are that you're like, and especially like, you know, in more like provincial parts of Germany where like actual neo-Nazis
Right.
are, very much involved within local governments and this and that and that. Yeah, I think that is a significant, difference than, uh, you know, Nazis boxed in like you see all over. Like we like the term, but the reality of it is that then it's a bit childish and stupid at the end of the day.
It's also like it follows a need. I mean, we can also recognize this. One doesn't only have to talk down on it, right? It's like a need that everybody really feels,
Yeah.
which is like my views, my opinion, even, Meinungsfreiheit, freedom of opinion, etc. I can have my opinion, but I cannot make my opinion real. I cannot, like, there is no way for me. There's no outlet. It's not only about, me being the decider and I decide everything. There is no way for me, for example, as a socialist to say, yeah, I'd like to have a society that is, that abolishes private property, for example. I don't know. Yeah, something like this. There is no way for me to achieve this in the society. The society is not made for that. So if you are in a society where you are constant, and by the way, everybody feels this, not only socialists. Like everybody feels that they think the society should be there for them. Like what we are building here, the state, all those institutions, they should be there for me, but they constantly don't work for me. So I'm trying to somehow change something about this, but it doesn't work out, and my life is shit. And now suddenly they have this option of actually, feeling like they can do something and it means something. And actually, like these guys, these 200, 300 guys that come into our comments, you can really say that, like, they are, in German we would say they are a Gewalt, right? They are a force. They are now there's no monopoly of force now anymore, in this sense that it's only the state using force. No, because they are a mob. They're huge. They can destroy people. They actually did already. There's this other guy, Drachenlord, his name, that was their victim before Shoyoka, and they basically drove him completely crazy, and had people also driving crazy about him, attacking him, trying to assassinate him, so that this guy basically right now he can't live without police protection anymore. So that's how you then suddenly feel, yeah, I can do something about what I think is right. Where I'm all the time in this society, I'm being told you can think what is right, but you can't make what is right. This is not your realm. The realm for that is up there. The state does that. Politicians, the guys that you vote for, and then for 4 years you're supposed to sit back and shut up, right? So I think this is also like a big dynamic why people really enjoy this, because normally you would think that if there are 3 people with you and all of them scream at this young girl for obviously incoherent reasons, but they scream and like have foam in front of their faces, and you look around to your left and you look to your right, and normal people would think like, what the fuck is this? What am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? Like, these guys are crazy. Yeah, but they don't think that. They enjoy this, right? So that means that there is a need to enjoy something like this in this society, at least.
Yeah, and to add onto that as well, I think it's also just the feeling of community that they get from this as well, right? Because as you were saying, these people are not normal. Like a normal person would just not, look around and be like, what am I doing? What is this? But these usually guys are just, usually they're just lonely people who have no social skills in real life, and then they go online and yeah, they are in a Discord with like 200, 300 people that are telling them like, this is the way to think, this is the way to act, and look at us, we're all besties, and we're all, and the group activity that we're doing today is going to a chat of someone's podcast and just harassing them and trying to make their chat like blow up or whatever. And it's just this weird community. And also, if it's also the dehumanization of anything online as well, right? They see the video of this woman talking to you, or on her live stream or whatever, but they don't think like that is a human being, like Drachenlord or whatever. Like that's just someone online. And it doesn't matter that we're doing all this, and it doesn't matter that someone threatened to kill this person, because they don't exist to me. I don't care. They're just online. They're just in my screen. So I'm just gonna keep, hanging out with my buddies, harassing people, because that's what gives me the sense of community that I so crave and don't have in real life.
Yeah, I think also too, because I when I was reading the comments, the 2 minutes I did it. There is though too and I have no idea where the background of a lot of these cyber bulliers come from, but it really is just exhausting that then it's it's the same. I really get like that there is no ideology behind it in the sense of the pro-Israel stuff. That would make sense, of oh, these people are Zionists, whatever. You'd see, you see when they flood a post. I even for example, I saw a really dumb one which was just a bunch of Israelis flooded a post from FIFA about North Korea beating the Palestinian national team in a scrimmage game. It was North Korea beat Palestine 10-0. And you just saw the Israelis just plastering Israeli flags and just being oh yeah, being abhorrently racist. And if you
believe in Juche now or whatever.
No, not even that. They don't know anything about North Korea. They're just oh, they're well, according
not
to
funny like that.
Yeah, they're not funny. They're just racist. They're just psychotic racists to the most it is watching that the Israel flag person write things is it is a level of racism that then I can't comprehend. It's so incoherent. But it is at least focused in the sense of their hatred of Palestinians. You understand that. Where it's when I see then the comments of this shit, a lot of it just reads like Andrew Tate or pickup artist, just general misogyny. And that's obviously a big part of it that comes through. And I'm just, you're reading through and it's just oh, she does makeup videos. Why do you have, it's someone can do makeup and have a decent political opinion that then is worth talking to. Are we seriously is your misogyny so deep that you must think that then someone who gets their nails done must be a moron and is below you? And that's something that then is still, it really is fascinating how that is constantly a still just a massive plague on social media, no matter in the sense of how many people can come and go, Andrew Tate or I don't know, all whoever, or a lot of the ones in the US now are the people who are nutritionists who are also racist and misogynistic of this is why you need to go on this diet. Also, here's how you make yourself a high value male. Which is God forbid you would actually just be nice, it has to come down to or there was
something I'm eating. It's definitely something.
It's something I'm eating, yeah, or there was that post that even Nate from TF kind of commented about that I saw on Blue Sky the other day of this guy being I'm 5'11" and this dumb bitch won't like me because I'm too short. It's bro, I'm 5'7" and I do not have these problems. It might be, it might be something completely,
might be that
else.
You call her a bitch.
Yeah, right.
No, it's something I'm eating. It's something I'm eating.
Yeah, and it really is and the thing that then is so unfortunate, which is I don't know if we even talked about this when that Netflix. The Netflix thing that Keir Starmer was oh, it's so good we have to show it in schools, even though it didn't really.
Adolescence. Yeah. We made a discussion episode on that. You should check it out. Yeah.
Gladly. But this discussion came up I think very weakly when that movie came out and people were surprised of oh, this is how the manosphere thing works or whatever, this and that. Yeah, it's it's kind of astonishing that we're having this moment now as a society, but then not really anything proactive seems to be done about it. And I don't mean in the sense of that then it's I mean, yeah, like a Netflix movie raising awareness or whatever, this and that and that.
Keir Starmer's solution to it was just making children watch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And I was well, maybe there's something more structural material that needs to be addressed.
Yeah,
The world of adolescence no longer exists.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think it is just like very funny that then it's like now we're like, it's not like the manosphere has been around like always. This is the thing that then I like never understand.
Watch Karate Kid. Watch the first Karate Kid. It's about that, right?
It's like, literally.
No, seriously. I mean, go back to the Greece or something like that, right?
Yeah.
That was always a topic, like bullying in school, kids getting beaten up for no reason, just so other people could feel powerful. And it's just now that it's so easy to amplify this to such an enormous scale through the technology that it can be coordinated and organized on a level that was not possible before. Before, your bullying group was like 5-6 people, and that's it. And
now it's like 500 or 600 people.
If one of them gets beaten up, the other 5 run away. But it's now it's like exactly like you say, 500, 600 people, 1,000.
I think there's like there's always these little moments that I get like incredibly surprised by how decentralized like the internet is. Like it seems like a very, pedestrian thing to say, but like I was like, okay, why was it different? What has changed? And it was like, well, TV and movies was probably controlled by increasingly smaller and smaller few companies like towards like the 90s and 2000s. They probably saw something deeply misogynistic and they were like, stop it. Sometimes they saw something deeply misogynistic and they were like, cool. Anyway, but then like, I think what happens now is, and why it seems like it comes out of nowhere for so many people is like recently, like literally yesterday, I discovered the subreddit for people who collect vacuum cleaners. And I was like, that's a whole community. That is a whole huge community of people who have multiple vacuum cleaners in their home. There is more than one of them, and I did not know about this at all until 5 seconds ago. And I feel like that is what a lot of this stuff is like for people, because like, unless you're like very online, like us probably, there are people who don't know still to this day who Andrew Tate is. There are people who don't know like, and then like suddenly just like, why is one of my coworkers kind of really weird about women now? So for a lot of people it just feels like it comes out of nowhere.
You just made me think about like when how like Germany does the polls of like, how well do you know this person, this and that, and I remember during like the last years of like Merkel, there was a poll that came out of just like, how like, do you know who this politician is? And it had like, do you know who like, Sigmar Gabriel is? And like, whatever, 70% of Germans would say, yeah, sure, whatever. It was like Angela Merkel, 99%. And I was always wondering, who is that 1% of Germany who has no idea who the Bundeskanzler is?
It's the woman from Goodbye Lenin.
Yeah, wake up from a coma. Oh, yeah, Gerhard Schröder still in power, baby. Yeah. No, but yeah, exactly. It's whenever I stumble across this is more common on TikTok, right? Of like I would stumble across anime fandoms of just like people cosplaying in them, but it's like a really obscure one. And I'm like, I know this is like anime related, but they're like really talking in depth about like, oh, when like so and so does this thing and this is my vibe right now. And I'm like, I'm out the window. Like I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. Vacuum cleaners I can understand. That's
vacuum cleaners are cool. All right, I love a good, well-made vacuum cleaner. No, we had this in a live show once where like we went to a venue out like near where the Amazon Tower is, and we're going in, and then there was like a promotional burger van food truck.
Oh my god! Yeah.
For a mobile phone game called Honkai Star Rail.
You knew what this was. Yeah.
I knew what it was, but I had to explain to you what Honkai Star Rail was and like why everyone is queuing around the block for it, and they're all dressed up as anime characters. Like, no, this is actually huge. I can't believe you've never heard of this before.
Oh yeah, crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, I mean, I remember too. I was talking to a buddy of mine who was like a PhD in psychology and had no idea who Jordan Peterson was. Which made me then realize that his audience was not for people who were interested in psychology.
That's actually a good sign. Yeah. So, but there was one idea that I got, and you just brought me back to this when you talked about the Israel mob, like the Zionist mobs that are also online, and then I tried to like think of this relation and realized there's so many parallels, but obviously there are also differences that we already talked about. They're not they're not really Zionist. That's not what motivates them. They're taking these Zionist talking points to do something else. The Zionists, of course, and all these accounts, some of them, by the way, are not even people. They're just bots.
Yeah.
But there are also many people working on this. Many of them also getting paid, but there are also many that just, are convinced of the shit. They try to use the same kind of cyber bullying mob dynamic, because I mean, one thing about it that even us, we can't deny, it freaking exhausts you. It grinds you down, because even if you say, like this girl, she could, for example, say, right, I'm gonna do my stream. I'm gonna say what I want to say, and then I'm just gonna turn everything off, and I'm gonna ignore it, and they can go crazy about it. They can't really touch me, right? Well, they can kind of touch you. They can dox your address. They can, I don't know, start threatening you by sending you mail, or threatening your family. Even she told us this, that even her family was threatened. And even if like one of these sick messages, reaches you, because sometimes you go on social media, you see something, one of these sick messages reaches you where someone is basically depicting how he wants to rape you or something like this. It does something with you. Like you can't just, say, okay, forget it. And that grants you down. And by the way, this is the parallel that I see with the Zionist troll accounts, because this is also what they're doing. They're trying to, brute force, grind everybody down into total exhaustion, that everybody just comes to the conclusion, it's not worth talking about this. It's not worth it. Even though I really believe there's a genocide going on and we should be against it. I'm so exhausted. I can't do this anymore. I'm getting depressed. I need to talk to a doctor because I can't sleep anymore and stuff like. Really, that happens, right? And and that then teaches you again, what those guys, the Zionist guys, what they're trying to do with you. So be aware of this when you are entering this sphere, I'd say.
I mean, like, it does. I do think there's a lot of overlap, because I've definitely seen this like internet mentality before. Usually over like pettier stuff, less like global politics stuff, but they come in with just like, I'm deeply enamored with X streamer and I have decided that Y streamer is X streamer's enemy kind of thing. And I've just like gone down this route. I did all the reaction videos, I've picked my arguments, blah, blah, but it's always driven by spite. And that's why they kind of like don't really know anything. And that is very similar to like the kind of like online propaganda soft power game that like Israel has been conducting. That's like,
right,
you mentioned Eurovision, that's what's been happening with the like Eurovision televote, is they get a bunch of people who do not watch the competition to just vote blindly at the right time to be like, a vote for Israel. There were people like, not this year, the year before, bragging online of just like, I've never watched Eurovision in my life, I live in like Dublin, Ohio, and like I voted 20 times on each of my 5 credit cards, kind of thing.
Yeah, for probably like for like $20 or something. I mean, why not?
Oh yeah,
it's like
a stupid amount of money, and like it's so spite driven. But I think the other thing that maybe going to like what's happening with a lot of American streamers, because again, weirdly, this is all playing out on twitch.tv. Obviously you've got like Hassan Piker basically being like the only normal person on American Twitch. And then you've got Ethan Klein of H3.
I've been so invested. I've been so invested in his brain just melting.
He genuinely seems to be ruining his very like storied YouTube career over this. He's been on YouTube for more than a decade now.
Yeah.
And he's ruining himself for this. Destiny, going back to him, like Destiny got his start because he outed like a video game YouTuber for being racist. Like he was like lib. It was like it was John Tron, who was a video game YouTuber, who was like, he kept asking about immigrants in the United States, and he kept bringing up black people, and Destiny was very good and pointed out, was like, you keep bringing up black, they're not immigrants to the United States.
Now Destiny throws the N-word out whenever he feels like it.
And now Destiny, the most recent clip I saw is he visited Tel Aviv, met with a bunch of IDF soldiers, and basically gave them the advice of like, do all the insane stuff you've been doing. Just stop filming it.
I mean,
Uh,
he's picking the perfect country for the type of crimes that he likes getting into. Just saying, like, if he
They're way
does
ahead of
if he does have to move somewhere.
Yep. But like it's like it's becoming. I think the problem with the United States, it's who was it said? It was Riley from Trash Future who made the point of like talking about UK politics is once you post online about transphobia, about being transphobic, you will never post normal again. You will never be like a normal person ever again. I feel like for Americans, there's a very similar thing going on with Zionism. Once you go down that route, you're never normal again. Because recently, very kind of specific to Irish news, talk radio here in Ireland was talking about the like P. Diddy trial, and they had on to interview Alan Dershowitz as an expert witness.
Like
As an expert. Yeah.
Yeah, read into that what you will, folks.
Wait, like-
it's such small time
As an
parochial
expert
Irish.
and a lawyer. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
such,
God.
such parochial kind of like Irish casting kind of thing. It's like, we did a guess for our Diddy trial. We know. What pedophiles do we know?
God.
But like, anyway, they have him on the phone for this, and he says one line about the P. Diddy trial, and then derails the entire conversation talking about why is Ireland the most anti-Semitic country ever.
I mean, I think the most anti-Semitic country ever. Are they sure about that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
There could be
Palestine is not
others.
a country, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Iran
there's,
is.
Iran
is, yeah.
Nazi Germany definitely, I guess, would, give Ireland a run for its money. That was the thing too. What was it? Oh my God. I think that we talked about this, but I don't remember. It was in response to, it was on like it was in the UK. It was exactly that, where then they just did the thing of like, oh, not even the Nazis, treated the Jews this way.
Oh yeah. Andrew Neil saying that
yeah.
not even the Nazis said death to Jews.
They just did it.
I don't know. Yeah, but also just like,
And they did
Also,
say,
they did say
yeah, they
it.
did say
They
that.
They also say it a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, technically it was probably not in English, but
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I didn't think
that's the legal loophole you get out of, right?
There's a big asterisk on that one. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Kieran. They did that. Well, I don't know.
This is Andrew Neil's lawyer at the moment,
Yeah.
probably trying to figure out the loophole here. But like, I think there's this thing that maybe it hasn't hit Germany yet. Maybe it has, because again, one of the things I found surprising with all these comments is I felt like within the last 6 months, the kind of like anti-Deutsch online presence, at least, had gotten a little bit more like insular. Like they were just talking to themselves. They just
Yeah.
kind of like gave up on trying to talk to other people. And then I suddenly see this like huge burst of it on like in your replies.
Yeah. But as I said, right? It's not
It's
the
not-
antidote.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's also, I was just as surprised as you, because it was also my first thought. It was like, wow, like we had so many shitstorms already, but it was never even remotely that scale. So what's going on? And then we started thinking about it and realizing that. Yeah. I just wanted to come back to one thing that you said in the beginning, I think, and this may be something that can, bring this to a positive note.
Good.
And not completely depress the hell out of everyone. I mean, it's clearly it is a phenomenon that is ubiquitous. But it's not. I don't think it's true that this is like the majority behavior on the side of like talking about the streamers. I think they are not most people are like them.
Yeah.
And even on the other hand, like also not most people here are just especially today. Maybe 2 years ago it was different, but today, just staunchly pro-Zionist. They will be when it comes to all these moral questions. Do you support the right of Israel to exist and all this stuff? They will say it, but they I think, I can't prove it. There are some polls, that show that people are not happy with all the weapons that are being sent there. They're not happy with what Israel's doing. I have my own anecdotal experiences from, I don't know, meeting parents in kindergarten and stuff like that, where I feel like, yeah, most people really are appalled by all this, but at the same time also they don't speak because they are fucking scared. Because it's scary here. It really is. I mean, also for Germans, I want to say, not only for Palestinians. But yeah, it kind of gives me the feeling, at least, that it's not all of them are this way. Like when you turn off your freaking social media and your Twitch and everything, and you just go out and you speak to some people, you'll still find freaking stupid opinions, but at least they're not all sick like those guys.
Yeah. Stupid opinions that are like less bloodthirsty.
Right.
Yeah.
I think,
I'm a big defender of the normal German. Like, because back in Ireland, the conversation is like all entirely what the government and their media is doing, and I'm a big one who's just like, I genuinely do think that your run of the mill kind of offline German is just like, well, there's a lot of killing over there. That really is bad. That should stop.
yeah, I mean, you kind of see it in the sense too of like, I mean, for the sickos amongst us who like watching, German like state TV, I guess you could call it, even though technically it's not. But like the stuff that you pay your like Rundfunkbeitrag
Public
to.
television.
Yeah, your public television. Thank you. Like, yeah, getting the clips of things, like I think there's one that stuck in my head very recently with a clip from some show on BR, so Bayerischer Rundfunk. And it was some woman who I forget who it was, and you just kind of like hear the argumentation of that, then how these people kind of go about in German media when it comes to like the Zionist things. It's a broken record. Oh, the terrorists and Hamas and this and that and that and da 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 da. And it's like the pool of people that they kind of get to do that are always just like the same faces. You kind of have then, there was this conference recently where I saw a friend of the show, Hanno Hauenstein, kind of calling out the CEO of Zeit being like, your coverage of Gaza shit, and him kind of just being like, oh well, we employ a lot of people who are pro-Palestine, they're young and this and that and da 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 da.
Yeah, inside online, but not inside.
Yeah, not inside. Yeah, exactly. So it is this kind of thing of like, even to the sense of like, there is just like this like, yeah, it's just like a Rolodex of people that then they can just constantly get. Yeah, you've mentioned Tuts, like the Nicholas Potters of the left, in quotations. The guy's not, or the constant, even people like, what's his name, have fallen from grace. Our former Greens, Volker Beck. Like, to the fact that it's like
this was his fall from grace. Yes.
Yeah, that exactly. Volker Beck's fall from grace was that then he kind of took the Julia Klöckner position against against her own government, being like, actually no, like Israel's doing everything fine in Gaza, when the government was even like, oh, maybe Israel might be doing something bad. Like the voices that then in Germany that then just kind of like get like thrown around now are just become so small and fringe, and if you want to like read fucking Jüdische Allgemeine just to like feel something,
Yeah, they also like cartoonesque, like the way that like their opposition and their arguments. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
that,
like
I think it must be that normal guys that don't have any connection to this, they realize.
Yeah,
what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
At least they want to stay away from it.
No,
at a
exactly.
Point,
yeah,
like these people just kind of look off-putting. Like it's like weird and like even if I'm like out of politics. Well, I had this discussion ages ago about like Die Linke back before like the 2021 election, of just like people didn't know what was happening internally in the party, but a lot of people kind of like did look at them being like, oh, things are going wrong. Like I don't need to know what's happening exactly for me to know things are going wrong. I feel like that's kind of thing what's happening with like people when they encounter these streamers in America that we were talking about, like the pro-Israeli ones, is like you just kind of look a bit unhinged now. You just kind of look a bit.
I don't want to stay on the same side of the street with you guys.
Wait, this is weird. They're, like, it's the rule of cool.
Yeah.
Like even just like Hassan Piker just kind of seems cooler.
That's not hard to do with some of these streamers, though.
Yeah, it's a battle. Like I have firsthand information about like these kind of big media houses where the higher up guys, they are open to talk more about Palestine. But now, we're getting into conspiracy theory, but I actually know this for a fact, and I can't tell any details, but they're being pressured. The Israeli embassy will call them and will say, there are these 3 guys that are working in your office. We want them out. And if not, there's going to be trouble.
Yeah.
And they have to, and then they either have to stand up to it or maybe juggle it around, Okay, then we have maybe one little critical article and then the rest is all Zionist propaganda. But that's a fight, because from the bottom up, inside these newspaper houses and journals and magazines, they are about to explode. Like we actually know of, even Concrete and places like this, they exploded in the inside because there were so many people saying, like, dude, like, I have to say something about this. This is crazy.
Yeah.
From the bottom up. I mean, there are a lot of young people working there. They are not in this establishment where they take as priority number 1 to never say anything against Israel. You get trouble. You have to manage this somehow. And I think this, you can tell that this is happening.
It's very similar to like things we've heard from the inside of public broadcasters in like
Hanno
the
will
UK
know.
and Ireland.
Hanno will also know.
Yeah.
Sorry, UK and Ireland.
Yeah. But like BBC staff were just like openly complain.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the staff at RTE, the national broadcaster in Ireland, really wants Ireland to pull out of Eurovision, but like the heads of it don't. Things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's this thing too of like, I mean, just to look at it in a sense of another country that does it but doesn't get away with it as much as like Turkey does the same shit, in the sense of Turkey does a level of harassment to people when they like, don't. I mean, it depends on, of course, like which state you're in, but there is like that is like a targeted campaign of harassment to people. They've gotten, Turkey has managed to get the German government to shut down bank accounts of people that they don't like, and stuff like that. But that's one that like kind of like openly can be talked about. I think of a comparison of like Israel's not the only state that does shit like that.
Yeah.
They're just like it's far more. The West is far more lock in step with it for whatever reason it may be. Probably fear of the United States, to be completely honest.
I think they are lock in step with it because they share their goals. They share their goals.
I mean, yeah, of course, too. That as well.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, there is. I mean, like, or yeah, I don't know. It's just
or they have some Epstein stuff on.
With that, we're coming up on time, and all it leaves me to say is, Nadim, thank you so much for coming on. Where can people find you and your lovely work?
99 zu 1, you take the number 99, and then Zu Eins as a word. You find us mainly on YouTube. We also stream on Twitch, and we do a lot of short stuff on TikTok and Instagram. And we have an X account. We have also a lot of English stuff. Recently, I'm doing more on that because if you want to talk Palestine, Israel, you need to find people that speak English, because in Germany there aren't many. So that's why we also have English episodes. Come by, check out that, and check out the episode we did with you guys.
Ages ago.
I
had
COVID. I had COVID that episode. I remember.
Yeah.
Different time. There'll be links to all that in the description, and we will see you on the bonus feed. Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.